Hey everybody, it is Elsa 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Glad to have you here. It is Sunday Fun Day, and we are here for another episode of Unsolicited Advice. So what I will ask you to do is please like the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We have lots of fun stuff happening, lots of fun stuff coming up. I'm just working all day to get some information for you guys because we are going to do Project Runway. So I pulled some fashions from the people, from the designers that will be on Project Runway 21. So I'm preparing that Meet the Designers show. So we're going to have some fun around here. Hey, Jackson Tabasco, glad to have you here. Hey, Ari, glad to have you here. We are here for Unsolicited Advice. We start off mild here before we get to spicy. And all age groups can get it, okay? All age groups can get it around here. Genders too. Jackson Tabasco, Project Runway. Well, we had a live, I don't know if you were in the chat on Friday, my unscripted, we talked a little bit about it. And my favorite, Laura Roach, the image architect, is one of the judges this year with Nina Garcia, and Heidi Klum is back. We did have a little discussion on Tim Gunn, whether they should have him or Christian as the mentor for the designers, and I was outnumbered. The chat wanted Tim, and I appreciate Tim, but I like Christian. But I will have a Meet the Designers show one time. Hey, Moon Dust Angel, glad to have you here. Also, Alone episode 2 is the recap is out on my channel. Make sure you check that out if you like survival shows, because Lord knows I couldn't be in Africa alone trying to survive to compete for $500,000. He knows that couldn't be me. But I did do that, and I did see that History Channel may have locked it down, so I will definitely keep on doing it for those who want to see the show but really can't. So let's get into Unsolicited Advice, y'all. We're going to start off mild. We're going to start off just a little bit mild because, you know, y'all may like it spicy around here, but we're going to start off gentle. We're going to start off real gentle. So they're having an argument over tattoos, a 22-year-old female and her 23-year-old male boyfriend. She said, me and him have been dating for a little over 5 years now. I'm sorry, I'm reading it verbatim. So if the grammar is incorrect, please forgive me. Me and him been dating for a little over 5 years now. Before me and him even met each other, I always wanted to get a tattoo dedicated to my favorite music artist. I know some might think it sounds silly. The artist has a special meaning to me. I went to one of their concerts and was able to meet him afterwards. I asked him if he could write down my favorite lyrics so I can get it tattooed, and he did. I told my boyfriend about it, and he's very upset. He told me that he was uncomfortable with it because it's another man's handwriting, and he's never really liked this artist, and even went as far as basically telling me this is cheating. My friends are saying they kind of understand what he means, but I don't think it's that deep. Do you guys think he's overreacting, or is there something I'm not considering? So what do y'all think? They're having an argument over the tattoos. It's her favorite artist. They wrote the favorite lyric for her to be able to get it tattooed on her, and her boyfriend thinks it's cheating. He thinks having another man's handwriting on you is cheating. So is he overreacting? Or is this cheating? Ari says he's overreacting. He's definitely overreacting. The guy's insecure AF. Needs therapy pronto, says Moondust Angel. Now, let's turn it around now. Let's turn it around. How would we feel if our man got his favorite artist, let's say, our favorite artist or his favorite artist, autograph or favorite lyric tattooed on him? Hey, to go to Africa, glad to have you here. So, ladies, if it's the other way around, would we feel the same way? Would we feel the same way? I'm just asking. I'm just playing the advocate. We haven't seen Lindsay in here for a while. Lindsay, if you are catching a replay, please let us know you are still with us as our resident advocate. Jackson Tabasco says, overreacting, childish, and should be single. Okay, he is childish. I have a life, so it wouldn't matter to me. It's his body, not mine. Therefore, you can do whatever he wants. We're a couple. She said they've been together for about 5 years. Now, keep in mind, they're 22 and 23. So he should have known about this. He should have known when she met this person. He should have known what was going on. So it's been over 5 years they've been together. They've been together since high school. I wonder if he thinks that she would leave him. I don't know how she talks about the artist. It's a lyric. It's not like she asked him to say, I want to have relations with you for everyone else to see. It is a lyric. It is a handwriting. I think, it could be seen as overreacting because guess what? Unless she wrote the lyric for the tattoo artist, it's got to be somebody's handwriting. So is he going to have an issue if the tattoo artist is actually the one marking her body? How far is he going to take this? So y'all, please put in the comments below. I do think, she needs to consider what he's saying. But of course, young lady, if this is what you wanted, he's always known this is what you wanted. Go ahead and get that lyric. But, understand your boyfriend may be uncomfortable. Now, where you place that lyric may also be a problem. Where you place that lyric, the boyfriend may be like, yeah, I don't want to see that every time we're in this position. I don't like tattoos, but if he wanted it, I wouldn't object if it was tastefully done. Right, tastefully done and tasteful placement. We don't know where she wants to put this to. Because I'm sure it's okay if we want to be on an arm. Many people have lyrics on their arm. But if the tattoo artist has got to do, like the upper in the thigh or something, some people have placement issues with tattoos, not necessarily the tattoo itself. So put your unsolicited advice in the comments for the young lady. We're not telling her to leave the young man, but we are telling him, hey, you are overreacting. In a placement I might have an issue with, but it's simply the type of tattoo, then no, I don't have an issue. Okay, so you got to talk further. You got to talk further with him. So y'all, thank you so much. We will move on to the next one. I'm trying to keep these down to 1 hour, this segment, so that people will be able to, I guess, digest it quicker and easier. So let's go on to number 2. So it says, my boyfriend, a 34-year-old male, blindsided me, a 32-year-old female. Okay. I am a 32-year-old female from Belgium. Had a 3-year-long relationship with my 34-year-old male boyfriend. I wasn't officially moved in with him yet, but spent 90% of my time with him staying over at his house. The last 6 months were amazing. I found a new job. We were looking at houses to buy together, taking the next serious step. 2 weeks ago, we booked a road trip to Ireland for September. Last Saturday, however, he came to my house, didn't even sit down for 5 minutes, and told me he didn't love me, never did, and doesn't want me to call him. I am devastated, absolutely sick. When I went to pick up my stuff from his place, I noticed everything was already packed up in boxes. He hasn't even given me a reason, doesn't want to talk. My gut feeling says he met someone else, but he denies this. What can I do moving forward? How can I shake this sick feeling that I am not enough and will never find anyone again? I'm already 32. Ooh, wow. Yes. So what do y'all think? She got a great job. She's been over at his place 90% of the time. They planned a road trip to Ireland, which sounds absolutely amazing. The drive from Belgium to Ireland, I'm sure, is absolutely amazing. And now all of a sudden, he don't want you here. Come get your things. And by the way, they're already packed at the door. Ooh, child. Dang, he never did after he did everything and suggests he might. If he wasn't serious, why look at houses? I'm wondering, but there's some people that things may be getting more serious than they want, and they don't know how to get themselves out of it, so they just freeze. They don't know how to say, hey, this is going too fast, too far, too soon. 32 is still young enough to be able to find and choose someone new when the time is right. Take some time to find yourself, be comfortable in your own company. Eventually the feeling will dissipate. Yes, it will. I'm wondering now, did you find a new job in the vicinity of his place? And was it closer to his place? And now you got to go through all this? Now, I hope you don't have a longer commute. There's so many things about this that I'm like truly pulling back on. Time heals everything. Right time, you'll get over this and meet someone who deserves to have you. Yes. This is just a moment in time. This is not forever. But I understand, we ladies, when we're over 30, our biological clock starts ticking really loud for us. And especially if you've kind of settled in your mind that this is your person, y'all have already started looking for houses. You're over there 90% of the time. My thing is, it's 3 years long and we're looking for houses. This is going along in the trajectory where we always talk about. This isn't a spur of the moment. It's been 3 years. They haven't officially moved in, but she's there 90% of the time. They're planning a road trip together. I am just concerned. What changed? Leaving is her only option. I have questions about whether he used her for money. We don't know. He could have to go to Africa. He could have used her for money. I don't have to get on her a moment. I do have to get on her a moment. She shouldn't have moved in without at least an engagement ring. Not that it is a guarantee, but it's still more of a commitment. Exactly. But they were looking at houses together. So maybe she thought, hey, an engagement is possible, is pending. Because maybe she's the one that's like, we won't move in. We won't buy a house until we are married or engaged. But this is like pulling the rug out from under you. I can feel for her. But I will look at her too, just like Ari's looking at her. Young lady, there may be signs. There may be signs that he was pulling away. While you were at his house 90% of the time, was he at his house most of the time while you were there? Or was he working late doing other stuff? I'm just asking. Because usually there are signs of someone pulling away and we just don't pay attention to it. Moon Dust Angel said, I live in Ireland myself and it's gorgeous here. I love Belgium too. I can imagine that road trip. I was like, that is a road trip I could definitely do. I love road trips. Okay. I love the longest time I have driven is a 10-hour drive from New York City all the way up to Maine. That's the longest drive. I did 10 hours in one day. And then I drove from Atlanta all the way to northern Louisiana. That was 7.5 hours. Absolutely love a good road trip. Does she help him pay the rent, buy the house, or pay for the trips? We don't know. She did not give us that description. All she said was that she got a good job now. Everything is working so well for her in her life. She got a new job and, 6 months, the past 6 months have been amazing because she got a new job. It's important to remember we've likely all been there, and also to remember you're not alone and it does get better, I promise. There's some context missing, so we can't really give too much advice. Right, there's a lot of context missing. We don't know what the promises made or promises perceived, because we do know that she may have thought that they were buying a house together when maybe he was using her knowledge of things and say, come along to help me look at houses. Not necessarily she gonna be living there with him. So there's a piece of me that wants to say, was she thinking more than it actually was? But then 3 years, you're over at his house 90% of the time. There's too many iffies in here. What was it really as strong a relationship as she thinks? And was he just biding his time? I'm thinking an ex could have been like, come hither, come back. And he's like, hey, yes, baby, I'm gonna come back to you. And she was a placeholder for 3 years. It's not like it's unheard of. It's not like it's unheard of. She could have been a placeholder for those 3 years. So y'all, please put your unsolicited advice in the bottom in the comments for her. The most important thing is that she probably can afford to find housing and take care of herself. Right. She said she isn't moved in. That's the thing. She said She wasn't officially moved in with him yet, but spent 90% of her time there, sleeping and staying at his house. So I'm wondering if she doesn't still have her apartment elsewhere that she just wasn't at all the time. So I'm not too concerned with her with housing, but I am concerned, she's thinking the next step forward. She probably didn't renew her lease. It's been, 3 years together, but I don't know that part of the world, because 3 years together, she's still paying the lease. They're looking at buying a house. So she's probably thinking, I don't need to renew my lease for the 4th year. And now here she is. We don't know. She could possibly be in limbo, but I'm hoping not. So yes, please put your unsolicited advice for her in the comments below, and we shall move along to the next one. And y'all know we get spicier and spicier with each request for advice. So the next one says, my 23-year, I'm a 23-year-old female, and the boyfriend is a 34-year-old male, lets his children's mother move in with him. He has young children from a previous relationship and lets their mother move into his house a couple of weeks ago, saying that she had nowhere else to go and wanting her back in the kids' lives. For reference, she has not seen the kids in over 2 years because of her battle with alcoholism. I don't live with him, and I'm also not able to go to his house anymore because she's always there and would cause huge drama. He snuck out of his house last night to come see me, and we'd only been together for a few minutes before she called him 4 times in a row, screaming at him to come back to the house or she was going to throw his stuff out on the lawn. She knows about me and knew he was at my place. He promptly left me to go back to the house to fight with her. I guess she's saying verbally, because around here, we don't believe in it physically. It's obvious she wants to get back together with him and is jealous. He claims that he despises her and he would never cheat or do anything with her because she cheated on him, which is why they broke up. However, I am extremely skeptical of any living situation where a man and a woman similar in age are together, separate rooms or not, especially when it's your ex, for crying out loud. It is unacceptable to me. I tried to break up with him over it and he begged me to stay. Be honest. Is there any chance they're not having intimacy? There's an update, but I want to hear y'all comments before I say more. Hey, shApp, glad to have you here. So there's an 11-year age gap. Y'all see that? There's an 11-year age gap. He has young kids. He brought the children's mother to his house. Yeah, he's still dipping and dabbling with her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought her in. She should have gone to a rehab facility. Leave him alone. Leave him alone, Jackson Tabasco says. Leave him alone. There's an 11-year age gap, girl. You are 23. You don't need these problems. At 23? At 23, you don't need this man with this drama. Tell him keep it pushing. The guy's not serious about what he wants. He doesn't know what he wants and is trying to have his cake and eat it, or at least that's what it looks like. The red flags are definitely flying here. Yes, they are, Moon Dust Angel. The red flags are flying. Girl, young lady, knock, knock, knock. You are 23. You don't need this drama. Do you understand your value in this marketplace of dating? You are 23, no kids, you have your own place. Do you understand your market value? Drop him. It's a toxic relationship. He must feel some attachment or obligation to her. He made his choice. She needs to move on. Her prefrontal cortex isn't finished developing yet. He felt like he could manipulate her because she's so young. Yes. She better go live her life. You better tell her, Jackson Tabasco, you better go live your life. So now y'all have said that. I'm going to read the edit she put on the bottom as to what she did. She said, thank you all for talking some sense into me. I just broke up with him. He didn't even try to fight me on it this time. So those last two words, this time, tells me you've been in and out of the relationship with this man who's 11 years your senior. 11 years. Why is it this time? Make sure it's this last time and you don't go back there. But say he didn't argue with you over it this time. Yeah, he gonna be sniffing around to come back because there's a stress at home. There's these kids. There's the ex or the mother of his children with her drama. He wants to come over by you to just relax and ease his mind and be away from the stress. But this time, I hope this is the last time. And you absolutely move on, block his number. You ain't got no reason to contact him. That just confirms to me that he has still between the legs of his children's mother. Yes, Ari, he's still dipping and dabbing. Because there's some people who can and have, had their, the mother of their child stay there with the kids or whatever, and they are not together. They don't want to be together. They don't want to be technically around each other too much, but they will for the sake of the kids. But she is 23. He is 34. Leave that man in the mess that he made. At 23, you do not need this kind of problems in your life. He is shady for attempting to put you in the middle of whatever this is. Exactly. And the fact that the mother of his kids knew where he was going and was calling him like 4 times and he decided to run home because she called. Yeah. And it ain't got nothing to do with the kids. Yeah. Yeah. He in it to win it. He is in it to win it, and you need to stay away. I'm glad. And again, I hope it's not this time. I hope this was the last time. Y'all, please put in the comments below what your unsolicited advice for her is, because girly, she got his B on a leash. I'd turn that B over and make it a P. But that's just me. Please put your unsolicited advice for her below. And we're going to go on to the next one. As I said, we get spicier and spicier. And I always try to make sure that we don't age discriminate around here. So we're talking about people in their 50s in this one. It says, I, a 50-year-old female, am leaving my husband, 58-year-old male, today. Do I need to explain why? Well, not to us, but we certainly would like to hear it. I've been struggling with my husband's corn use for years now. He has repeatedly denied having an issue with it, despite us having a flat line in the bedroom and him getting caught with the corn repeatedly. Last week, he was put on leave from work for soliciting and harassing a coworker. He is only now catching on that his escalating corn use has brought him to the point that he's about to get fired, despite me trying to warn him for years. I'm done. I'm leaving today. Do I even need to tell him why I'm leaving when I've been trying to warn him all along? Does he deserve to know why? Your grandma, 50-year-old grandma, said she's leaving 58-year-old grandpa because he in the corn too much. And when she said their intimate activity is flatlined, yet he's caught soliciting at work. He put on leave for soliciting a coworker. Sir, a coworker. What do we say on this channel? Do not mess with Dee, your direct deposit. Don't mess with no one at work. Don't mess with no one close to home. Don't do it. Here's grandpa at 58, don't know no better. Sometimes people are so entrenched in what they're doing, they can't hear or see what people are telling them will happen because they feel they're right and don't want to hear otherwise. Sorry for that awkward pause. Is he picking up streetwalkers? That's the next thing. But if we flatline in the room and you're constantly looking at corn, why are you soliciting folks? What can you do with the folks that you even solicit? Even if it was a streetwalker, he's a flat line. What is he doing? Is it just to watch? Because grandma's saying ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing getting up and going. He needs to seek counseling. They need couples counseling to discuss his obsession with it. She said it's been years. She done. Grandma said she is done. Soliciting someone at work is very creepy and highly unforgivable. I can never forgive someone who did that. What exactly would be expecting to happen to him? We have all these kinds of policies. We have all these kinds of trainings at these jobs telling us about harassment. He knows what he did and don't think she should have to explain when someone is that stupid, and it'll be obvious to them why everything around them is crumbling. Now, she said she's been trying to tell him for years. He ain't listening. Now he's suspended for work. Do you think suspended from work is going to help? Do you think he learned his lesson from being suspended from work? Because suspended from work means now we down to one check household. Now grandma got to carry everything on her check. She ain't old enough for Social Security in America. Okay? Grandma is still working at 50. And I'm just saying, grandma, y'all just humor me. She's 50, he's 58. Yep, that's a serious addiction. Yes, it is. It is. And he seems like it has escalated to now soliciting at work. And now you might be fired, sir. Because I'm sure, and this is a guess. This is a guess. We don't know these people. I'm sure in the investigation of this solicitation, they might find he'd been watching porn at work, on the work laptop, on the work computer, during work hours. Because if this is escalated to this point, you cannot tell me, seriously, for 8 hours of the day, he ain't watching it, especially if he decides to solicit a coworker. So either she wants to go through with him. Yes, he is a straight up fool, clown. Either she wants to continue to be with him and go through this with therapy and work through this, or as she says, she's leaving, she done. She hasn't said, and we like numbers around here. How many years, lady, have you been dealing with this? How many years? Because it seems that this could have been in the beginning of y'all relationship. Y'all are 50. You ain't told us how long y'all been married. You ain't told us how long you've been married. But you say you've been struggling for years now. He couldn't have just started. He couldn't have just started, but it just escalated. And I understand your point, lady. It's escalated. Ain't nothing happening in your room. Yet he out here soliciting other people when like Krispy Kreme, your hot light is on and he ain't coming to bed with you. I don't even know what to say. She's already doing what she needs to do. It ain't worth it. Too mature for that stress. He might be struggling with his middle-age challenges. He should have told her a long time ago if he lost interest in her so that she didn't drag it out. I mean, yes, because remember the grandma in a previous unsolicited advice, she was like, it's been only 2 times in 2 years she got anything. She got to the land of Oz. Oz is spelled with the big O. So that's what I'll call it. It's been a long time since that grandma, twice in 2 years, she got to the land of Oz. This one ain't even getting there. She not being solicited by her own husband. He going to a coworker. That's probably all he thinks 24/7. That's way too much to deal with. I say if she's done, be done and move on. Yes, because guess what, y'all? This can go further. This, if the job sees that he was soliciting, he was harassing a coworker, there can be a civil or even a criminal case. What if that coworker wants to press charges against him? What if that coworker does want to press charges against him? What if he gets, has a case against him? Now your name is tangled up with his, in a court case. It may not make press, but it certainly will be out there. Where's he going to get hired again if this is the case? If he moves to another job, is this job going to tell them exactly why they terminated him? This is a constant cycle. So if she wants to stay, fine, but I mean, who thinks about sex at work? This is what I don't understand. You're there to work, not to think about intimate fraternization. And that's why some places have a no fraternization policy. But some people are, over, stimulated in the mind in that case. And I will tell y'all, I have been at 2 jobs and my head is in the sand, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm not there to make friends. I'll be friendly, but I'm not there to make friends. But my head is in the sand and I don't know nothing until people are like, you know, so-and-so was walked out. It's like, what? What do you mean? They were walked out because they had this on their computer. I was like, what? No. Really? I had no idea. There have been 2 separate jobs, 2 separate incidents where there were coworkers, yes, using that on their laptops, on their company issued laptops. They're coming in late, taking long lunches, and then so the company decides to see, what are you doing on your computer that you ain't working? You ain't working the 9 to 5 we paying you, and you dipping out early. So guess what? They looked, they saw the activity, and of course, whoop, they're gone, escorted out. And I'm like, okay, I didn't work directly with them, but I'm like, that seemed kind of strange to me that you're at work, you have an office, and these offices don't have thick walls or whatever, and you're at work. You're at work. Oh, geez Louise. I hope he isn't into any corn that, is, strange or pedo. I'm hoping so. But if he's soliciting someone at work, I would think it's more adult. I will give him the benefit of that doubt, that it is an adult activity. But grandma said he flatlined. He don't rise to the occasion. So what is he doing? Is it just for her? Is that why he's soliciting someone who has, piqued his interest? That he can get to the land of make-believe Oz? But at work? Dude. Now, I'm not giving any excuses to Grandpa, 58 years old, but, he could be, he saw a coworker that's overly flirtatious. Maybe it's a coworker that has had relations with others in the office, and he's like, oh, that's easy game. We don't know. We're not going to victim blame or shame, but that is the only advocacy. Where's Lindsay? That's the only advocacy I could give him for thinking, but the man is married. He shouldn't be entertaining this at all. Have you ever fancied anyone at work? If so, how did you make you feel? I personally, but never did anything about it because I consider it to be unprofessional to do so. Yeah, I've worked with, some very handsome men, around some very handsome men, but 2 things stand out. Y'all know my 2 words, direct deposit. And I have said, in previous lives, Moon Dust Danger, I've said, in the time when I was dating, we can date when you find another job. When you leave here and find another job, we can date. But as long as you work here, I got no interest with you. Not at all. Not at all. Because I'm not going to mess up DD for anybody. Okay? Direct deposit is my bestest friend. Because guess what? That person, it ain't going to last. If it does last, it ain't paying your bills. It ain't putting food in your belly. And it ain't paying your car note. So no. When you find another job, because I'm not leaving my job just to date you. But when you find another job, you can call me, you can hit me up. Maybe, maybe not. But then again, sometimes the handsome ones are community property at the office. Now, we had one of those. Very handsome. Initially, when you see the person, you're stunned. You're like, ooh, okay, very handsome. But then when you see how they move in the office, the way he moved in the office was a user. He knew he was handsome. He knew he could milk it with the ladies. And I would constantly, when he would come up, I would put up a big old X. Don't come around me. Don't talk to me. Why? Because what I will not be is affiliated with you and your foolishness. See, that's how honest I am. That's how honest I am. Is like, I don't want to be affiliated with you and your foolishness. Well, what foolishness? I don't have to say it out loud, but what I wish is not to be involved with you unless we're officially working on a project. Thank you. Goodbye. Tremax said, I've had past work interactions. Thankfully, none ended bad. One was kind of weird. We need a definition of weird. But, for me, work means DD, direct deposit, and I am not messing that up for anyone. 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 That money is better than any boutique out there. I'm sorry. That's how I've always maintained it. Tried to date in my profession. Didn't like it. It's like some people, one professional jealousy. if you do better than them. And two, constant talking about work. Oh, no. So, Miss Delcid and my previous marriage, we were not in the same field at all. Yes, Trey Mac, do tell us more. I honestly don't know many men who don't enjoy corn, but his obsession extremely problematic. At this stage in his life, they don't need to be together. I told you there could be a court case. This coworker could, since the company has suspended him and are investigating the fact that, he solicited and harassed this coworker, it could be a case pending. So she may have to distance herself. He's working out while watching corn all day. Sir, 2 cups are empty by bedtime. I'm sorry, Shabby, if you did not mean it in a very triple X way, that's where my mind went. That's where my mind. Grandma said he is flatline for her. So I don't know what he's soliciting people for. But, sir, there are certainly streetwalkers. There are people who are professional out there. But if you don't want with grandma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be soliciting at work. And you're about to lose your job. Hopefully there isn't criminal proceedings. You're just gone away lightly. And hopefully this job doesn't tell your next job why you were terminated. You meant it that way? Okay, as long as you meant it that way, that's where my mind went. So we are here. So y'all, please leave your unsolicited advice down there. Because, Grandma 50, we agree with you with leaving. Gather all your stuff. Please seek legal advice. The lawyer will tell you how best to detangle yourself from this man. Because if there is a court case, this whole harassment thing with the job, it could splash on you. Pun intended. He is enjoying himself now. He'll probably want her back when his flag won't to go to Africa. That's what I mean by flatline. That's what I mean by flatline, and he doesn't rise to the occasion. That's what she said. It is flatline in the bedroom. It does not rise at all. So don't rise for her. Why is he soliciting a coworker or anybody? He watching corn. It ain't working. Why? So he got other issues. So that's what I meant by flatline. Yeah, his flag ain't rising. It's flatline. That's what she said. Now, it may be flatline just for her, or it may be flatline because he is exhausted. The fingers are exhausted, and so he is spent by the end of the day, by the time for bedtime, and he can't rise for her. But in her way of putting it there, it seems like it don't rise, at least in the bedroom. So y'all, I think we're kind of in agreement that she should leave because there's too much entanglement here. So let's go on to the last one. And I know y'all are probably scared with this last one because Trey Mac, I saw you in another live commenting that it gets a little too wild out here with these stories. But these stories are directly from Reddit. So this one is a little bit long. I'm going to abbreviate it for y'all, give y'all the necessary items. A 27-year-old female with a 39-year-old male boyfriend. Y'all get that age gap. He has ED. And we've been in a dry spell. And now he says he won't have intimacy with me unless I what? Shave down there. Feelings are hurt and unsure on how to navigate this. I'm looking for some advice. My boyfriend, who is 39, has struggled with ED since the beginning of our nearly 3-year relationship. We're currently going through a dry spell. We both agreed to stop trying for intimacy for now because it's clearly stressing him out, which in turn is stressing me out. Yesterday, I gently brought up that even though we're not intimate, I still would love to feel desired in other ways, like compliments, affection, the occasional physical attention that does not rely on intimacy in the bedroom. He said his ED has made him lose his sense of desire completely. That's why he doesn't feel able to give compliments or initiate anything. At one point, he asked, "What's in it for me?" Though he did acknowledge afterwards it was a selfish way of thinking. During this dry spell, I have stopped keeping up with my upkeep down there, partly because we have not been intimate, and partly because sometimes it's very painful. So during this conversation, my boyfriend told me that even though I can do what I want with my body, he doesn't want to engage with me unless I shave. He also thinks I'm doing it on purpose to get back at him for not being intimate, which is not the cause. I've tried really hard to be supportive of him during this ED, never to make him feel bad or pressured or ashamed, but now I'm feeling rejected and unsure how to talk to him through these things. I'm not trying to make this a big issue, but I need advice on how to handle the conversation and how to protect my emotional well-being at the same time. Yeah, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Yep, another large age gap. I did say it gets too wild, just that it could. There's a distinction. Okay, another Limpy. Jackson Tabasco. Another Limpy. There are many forms of intimacy, all of which are seg, and maybe he needs some relationship counseling to help him learn the difference between intimacy and special intimacy. Maybe. So you have an eating disorder, which led to a limpy disorder. That's interesting. I'm not sure it's an eating disorder, but I'll leave that there. This is clearly an excuse on his part to try and excuse the fact that he doesn't want to be intimate in any capacity, or maybe Moon that stage he cannot. He can't tell me nothing over my overgrown weeds if he lip. Jackson Tabasco, love it. Man, please mow your lawn. Shay-B is like mow your lawn. Whether he ready or not, always, if you always ready, you ain't got to get ready. So that is basically it. She's like, no one's tending to the garden, so just let it grow and run wild. That's exactly what she's saying. He's got ED. He can't tend to her garden. He can't weed whack. So just, let it grow from there. Why maintain when no one's coming to visit? Some of us say, handle your business, girl. Always make sure you're properly groomed. Don't matter if he is ready or not. And here on this channel, we always say there are many, many ways to the promised land. There isn't just one. So if he has ED, there are many other ways of intimacy that y'all could get to Oz, the big O-Z. If she's that anxious for gratification, she should try find a less painful method of shaving. Right. The lack of shaving can cause her to have an unpleasant odor and make it undesirable. Well, I can't tell it to mow because I'll mow mine. Jackson Tabasco. I guess Jackson Tabasco is our advocate for this young lady since she too is not into lawn care right now. I mean, I don't necessarily blame her for not maintaining if he ain't sprinkling the garden. Well, if she does wax and weed, there's no guarantee he wouldn't find some other reason not to be intimate. Exactly. Hey, Unfiltered Doll, you are here in time. This young lady, she is 27 with a 39-year-old boyfriend, and he has ED. And in his ED and not being able to handle business, she has decided to stop weed whacking and shaving. Okay? She said, if you ain't handling it, I can let it go. And he's saying, because you aren't weed whacking, he can't go there, whether ED or not. All she's asking for is a little bit of compliments. We talking overgrown weeds or Amazon rainforest. I don't feel like trekking through Jumanji. So here's Trey. Trey's like, he don't want to go through Jumanji. He don't want to go through. He don't want to have to use a machete. He don't even want to use, scissors. He's just saying, hey. What are we talking about here? We need direction around here. Trey Mac, the way I have to stop myself from hollering. Jackson Tabasco says it's the Amazon in her case, Trey. In case you were wondering, she's making it very clear she's the Amazon. Okay? Yes, another Mr. Limpy. Yes, we're the chat not me. The chat has said another Mr. Limpy. So yes, he has ED. She's saying, hey, I'd like some compliments, even though you can't go there. Could you just compliment me, make me feel attractive? And he said, I can't because you're growing too long down there. You're growing too long down there. I'm saying I got questions now. Hey, Trey, we love when the gentlemen have questions. We love when gentlemen have questions. So why does it matter to him if it's not rising, if he flatline? We don't know. We don't know why it matters to him. He may be deflecting. I don't care. I don't like working anyway. Okay. Does anyone know what the treatment for ED is? Medication, therapy, or what? There's many different things, Moondust Angel, and I'm just from a limited opinion, okay? Limited opinion. And of course, any of the gentlemen want to put it in the comments. We're not going to assume that you have had that treatment. Maybe you heard it somewhere. It's a lot of times, and any of the nurses in the chat, a lot of times it's diet is the problem. Sometimes blood pressure, which from diet is a problem. Sometimes it is a more severe medical condition that may need medical intervention. But I've known for folks, once they get their blood pressure together, then it can, kind of stop that. But, you can buy equipment. There are different ways to the promised land. There are different ways. And even though he has ED, it doesn't mean, that we can't see what that mouth do. Okay. You have two hands. You have other things that you can use and do in order to satisfy your partner. That's all we're saying. Once we get to a point where we can have a membership wall, we can talk more in depth about it. But right now, in the openness of YouTube, I can't talk but so much about it. She should find out if medication or illness has caused a problem. He should consult a doctor. He should, because she is 27. He is 39. She ain't got to wait around for him to rise like Lazarus, okay? I'm sorry. If he don't want to work with it, but young lady, please understand, there are some men out there that don't mind trekking through the Amazon, okay? I'm just saying, there are some men out there, some, not a lot. There's some that don't mind trekking through the Amazon and doing what they need to do to get to the promised land. Some men are Indiana Jones-like. They will go through the jungle for what they need and to get you there. Some, not a lot, but some. You got to find your Indiana Jones. So they don't have any type of intimacy. He don't even want to compliment her that she looked good. He don't even want to compliment her, telling her she looked good. She said she just wants compliments. She wants to still feel good. She still wants to feel attractive to him. Still wants to feel attractive to him. And he not saying nothing. He said because he got ED, he don't feel like giving compliments. I don't think he like it anymore. Yes, Jackson Tabasco, some men like to be Indiana Jones, and some men, just want to be a surfer and have just smooth sailings and just glide across the water. Y'all know what I'm saying. Surfboards require what? Wax. Some men prefer that. So that's how I'm going to say it for the YouTube streets. There are some surfers, and then there's some Indiana Jones type. Let him go back to his mama's house. He's 39. She's 27. Don't kiss him after you trek through the jungle. My. Shabby. Now trek through the jungle with what? Because, there are all kinds of ways to get through the jungle. You're thinking, once he locked lips in the jungle, that she shouldn't be kissing him after he trekked through the jungle. Now, whether there's a jungle or not, there's a pH issue. If we, come from downtown and go straight uptown, there's a pH issue. So be mindful. Be mindful. Even if he trekked down there and come straight uptown, yeah, be mindful. But if he's not even willing to give compliments, I say be gone. Life is too short at 27 to be dealing with this man that he don't even want to pay you compliments. He don't even want to find a different way to the promised land. And young lady, you can find there are different ways for you to maintain down there without it being, painful, as you said. You said that, once your grass starts growing back, that it can get painful. There are different options you may need to explore for yourself and determine how you can maintain down there. It may not be for him. It may be for the next student. Okay? Child, just move it out the way. She should find out if he isn't attracted to her anymore. If he was attracted to her, he probably would be willing to make her happy. And it may not be an attraction piece. It may not be an attraction piece. It may be, functional. Trey Mack is here. He said, wait a minute now. No kissing after jungle tracks? What's in this jungle? We're just saying, be mindful. Be mindful, because not all jungles have water, clean water that flows through them. Okay, let's put it that way. Jackson Tabasco says, you better not kiss me afterwards. I don't play that. I guess we letting folks know, how to get a better technique, I guess, for each of us. I don't want any kisses after going down yonder. Okay. So, Trey, I guess you haven't been dealing with ladies, kind of like what's in the chat, because apparently you have, been kissing uptown after you've been downtown. So stay wherever you are, Trey, because the ladies in here are not having it. I said, girl, the is because I cannot say what I want to say in this open YouTube. And I would say a lot. And those of you who are in Unfiltered Doll Reaction, y'all know I type a lot. Y'all know I type a lot. And so this child don't get a knock on the door. I got to say, and kind of keep it quiet, because if I say what I want to say, I may have to take this down right after. I don't know what's going on with y'all. This is funny. Trey thinks this is funny. Now, if we were behind a member wall, I would ask the ladies, how do you stop someone from coming uptown after they've been downtown? And you come over here, Christian, like, yes, I'm very demure and mindful here, not in other people's chats. See, I'm saying it out loud here. And let's just say I have to be very respectful for right now. But there's lots I want to say. Jackson Alaska says, move your face out the way. Girl, do you just do a mush? Do you mush? Do you get your face out the way, mush? Is that what you do, Jackson Tabasco? Move your face out the way? Or do you just do, the bob and weave like boxing? Like, oh, nope, right here. I'll go kneel on homie if he tries to give me a back. So Jackson Tabasco says she turns her head. Ordering food. How do you, for the ladies in the chat, the question is, how do you stop a man from coming to kiss you uptown after he's been on the downtown, through the jungle, or surfing, along your waves? How do you stop it? Okay? So Jackson Tabasco says she turns her head. Some people say they're Neo in the Matrix. They do a whole pullback, some bob and weave, from the kiss. Give him a breath mint and hope for the best. Well, you got to be careful with that mints. Well, he's come from downtown. Don't let him have that mint and then go downtown. Don't let him have that mint and go downtown. I'm just telling you. But then I'm allergic to mint. So, that should be first emoji. It will be. Okay, Shabby. I'm going to make a note of that. I seen a bunch of nice nasties in here. You want the nasty, but still trying to be nice. I'm dead. I'm gonna give this one to the chat right now.
I hate to be shady unless I really have to. I hate.
Are we being shady in the comments? Are we being shady? Trey, are you being shady? Bunch of nice nasties. We are nice nasty. Okay? And that's why I have Phaedra here. That's why I love Phaedra. Phaedra is able to give you a good dressing down and still be very mindful and very demure. But she can still cut you deep. Okay? So we are shady because we have to be right now. We have to be. So any advice for her Is she leaving this person? We're already telling her there are different methods of not letting him, come uptown with the kisses after he's been downtown. Is there any other advice for him or for her? Sir, go to the doctor, figure out why you're having this malfunction. You are 39 years old. You're 39 years old. For I'll have Trey Mac. This is a good laugh. Trey Mac, tell your brothers, tell your brethren, go to the doctor. I don't know why some men, not all, some men don't want to go to the doctor and have things looked at so it can get better. Nip it in the bud right away. But you have your lady coming on here, your 27-year-old, 12 years you're a junior, coming on here talking about you got a problem and she can't solve it. As long as she's fine without the big O, then I say stay. Who is fine? I don't know how to put a poll in here. I'm sorry, y'all. Who is fine without the big O? Put a 1 in the chat if you are fine without the big O, or a 2 if you need the big O. Because I'm sorry. 1 if you don't need it. 2 if you need it. Maybe she can get herself some apparatus and show him what he has been missing. Oh, homeboy is a lost cause. Girlie needs to bounce. And that's what she tried to do. Trey bounce on it. Oh, you can do without the big. Okay. Trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Musty onions plus sloppy cat equal no kiss it. Musty onions. Why are you having musty onions down there? I want the big O, but she might be fine without it. She might be. That's why I'm asking the chat, because she might be fine without it. And there may be people out here who might be fine without it, without the big O. But I need to go to the land of Oz, okay? You need to follow this yellow brick road and get to the land of Oz. In her case, it's the jungle. Oh, Unfiltered Doll says she pleads the 5th. This is still a free country, so you can't plead the 5th. But 5 is not, a number that I put in the poll. Trey Mac, try. You'll be all right. Hey, there's a couple of there's a 1 in the chat that say they're okay with not going to the land of Oz. And I'm sorry. There may be all kinds of ways to Oz or the promised land, but we need to get there. And however we get there, that's okay. As long as we get there. If I could wear socks to bed, I would. What do you stockings to bed? I would. You mean full stockings, Jackson, Nebraska? I'm sorry. I'm in Georgia. It's too hot for stockings on a regular. You gonna wear stockings? Too bad. Musty onion. Somebody just had bad at the grocery shopping. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like some people need to learn how to eat peaches properly. That's what it sounded like to me. There may be some people who are, how can I say, behind in the class. Some people may be behind in the class on how to eat peaches properly. That may be it. Unfiltered Dog says she needs to get there. The song said, I'll take you there. He needs to follow those instructions and take her there. But she's not even asking for that while he works on his ED. She's asking for compliments. Make her feel desired and desirable. That's what she's asking for. And he's not doing that. Maybe some people need to take their musty onions and get service. Ooh. Trey Mac, that wild jungle. Some wild jungles may have, yes, the onion shabby. Some of them may have, but that too is a pH balance offset. I'm sorry. Again, ladies, it is what you eat. And it's the water you don't drink. It is what you eat and the water you don't drink. Y'all ain't having your electrolytes. Y'all ain't having your pineapple. Shout out to Unfiltered Doll Reaction. She teaches us over there at her channel. You're not having your pineapples. You're not having your coconut water. You're not flushing your system. How off is a worm? I'm not sure. I understand what you're trying to say, Unfiltered Doll. Jackson Nebraska telling Shabby to log off. I mean, it's a wild jungle, Some people say Amazonian. Now, Amazonian jungle, at a certain point in the jungle, it's so hot and musty that nothing can go through. We don't know if she's thinking. That's the assumption for Shabby. If she's a wild jungle, the assumption is that, the heariness, the denseness of the forest does hold odor. And we're wondering if she possibly could be holding an odor. That's all. But some people in chat want to say, yeah, it's onions. That he done ate off the onion tree, and now he want to get a kiss uptown. Don't be afraid to wet those musty onions and even use soap. It'll be better all around if you do. Listen, in the coat, there's a button onto. Well, some people don't know how to eat ice cream either, Tremac. Some people don't know how to lick ice cream either, Tremac. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to say. Some people don't know how to eat peaches. Some people don't know how to eat peaches and cream, and that's okay because you can learn. But if he doesn't want to even give you simple compliments while he's going through his ED journey, if he doesn't want to use tools, use toys, get you to the promised land in some kind of fashion, then we got a major problem. We got a major problem. It's okay if you're working on your ED, if you're frustrated with your ED, there's still other ways that y'all can be intimate, and there are other ways that y'all can get to the promised land. Okay? Tremac, you're having the ladies holding their heads and laughing. Again, Moondust Angel, yes, if you're willing to learn, if you're not willing to learn, boy, bye. So are you going to be Indiana Jones and trek through her jungle and get to the promised land? Or are you going to sit on the sidelines and do nothing and not even compliment her? Yes, she needs to find another man. Find your Indiana Jones. I don't want to go to the promised land. I want to go to sleep. Now, Jackson Tabasco, you are one of my ones in the chat. You just want to go to sleep. And I understand that. And that's okay. So maybe you need to pair up with him, because as long as, there's a balance in your household, you're fine. I'm giving twos all the way around here. Don't play with me. Trey Max says he deals in two a lot. He makes sure folks get to the promised land. He makes sure of it. Ain't no questioning his skills, is what he is saying. Jackson, you always telling Randolph no. I like being an auntie in the bed. Now, as long as you ain't no starfish, we good. Bottom line, she needs a 20-something-year-old to wax that horse. And she be willing to wax that kitty. Yep. What does that mean? What do you mean, what does that mean? Being an auntie or a starfish? Are we going there? Which one are you asking? What does that mean? Because I don't want to give any information that you're not asking for. That's a lot of information I can give you. I want to know, make sure I know exactly what you're asking. Okay, starfish. What does a starfish do in the ocean? Starfish just, being an auntie? Okay, ooh, I was about to go way far for you two. Being an auntie is just going to sleep, rolling over and going to sleep, doing nothing. Just, got your bonnet on. Just, as she said, she wants to wear stockings in the bed if she could. The bed is for sleeping and sleeping alone. He's used to me now. He can go elsewhere and leave me alone. We need to pause this convo. This is a dark type of stuff. Is it dark? It's not that dark. It's not that dark. I know a lot of freaky aunties. Don't spread that rumor. Well, hey, I know it's the auntie version that Jackson Tabasco is talking about. I'm not talking about the aunties that would rock this young man's world, even though he has ED. Okay? I know the type of auntie, Jackson Tabasco, because we have been in these YouTube streets together. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yes, there are. Doing it everywhere but the bed, very spicy. Oh, yeah, they're those aunties. The bed is made for sleeping, but they're those aunties too, Moondust Danger. That's the Trey Mack kind of auntie. But the auntie that Jackson Vasco is talking about is once we hit this bed, lights out, we go to sleep. I may talk to you and say goodnight, but that is optional. I may, but it's optional. Y'all, we have veered far from what this young lady is asking for, but this is a good time. We have had a wonderful time here today. Again, make sure to put your unsolicited advice for her down in the comments below. Other than that, I have Somebody's Son coming up on Tuesday. That's going to be a live. I'm not sure if I'm going to do unsolicited advice on Wednesday like I usually do. That depends on if I have something to do after work. But definitely Friday will be our unscripted. We had a grand old time last Friday. And I am preparing to do a deep dive into, meet the designers for Project Runway, which comes back July 31st. Right now, I'm watching Alone, season 12. Recap number 2 is up. Which auntie am I? I'll have to tell you what type of auntie I am and explain it once we get to membership level and we could talk behind the member wall, because I'm the fun auntie. And I'm the auntie that you could talk to about things. And, some of my friends call me Ruth. And if you know about Dr. Ruth from back in the day, yeah. But yeah, I can explain more the type of auntie I am behind a member wall, not up here, not up here. I dress very demure and mindful here, and I speak very demure and mindful here. But this is not my complete persona, okay? I just behave myself around company. Some company. Trying to say you deserve the blessings of two. Trey Mack out here sending blessings on a Sunday. But y'all, thank you so much for being here. I want to keep this as close to an hour as possible. We're only going to do 5 at a time. Yes, Shaby. Yes, Unfiltered Doll. Don't you know it? I can't act up out here. Girl, you do not behave yourself. You told a lie one day. Yeah. I have behaved myself today. Okay? Today I've behaved myself. Yeah. Hey, Debbie. We'll talk again soon. Yes, we'll be live. You can catch the replay. Hey, Ja Tony. Yes, thank you all so much for being here. This has been fun. We have given our unsolicited advice. Please leave your advice in the comments. If you're now walking in here, we did take a detour. We got a little shady. We were talking about people's, life in the land of the bedroom. And please leave your comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.